Hey, welcome to the Digital Coach Accelerator podcast, the audio experience that shares the exact strategy and tactics to grow a sustainable and profitable online coaching business. I am your host, Jessica Ludlow, a six-figure online marketing strategist, course creator, and serial entrepreneur. My clients have gone from 0 to 60K in a year's time by using a simple two-pronged approach of both paid and organic marketing. And now it's your turn. By the end of each episode, you will know the exact actions you need to take to start signing more clients at scale. Oh, and have full confidence in doing so. I know you're ready, so let's get started with today's episode. Welcome to the Digital Coach Accelerator podcast. Now, if you've been a long-time listener, you know that this used to be called Entrepreneur Radio. So let's just have a quick little conversation about why the switch. First of all, I was feeling much more aligned and drawn to helping you, specifically the coach who's wanting to create new leads. While Entrepreneur Radio was great, this is going to be a space for coaches and creatives only. We're getting in the nitty-gritty. We're getting into the specifics. We are getting into the strategy and the mindset work of the coach to specifically help you get to where you want to go. Riches in the niches? I think yes. We want to help you, so here we are now. So now that we cleared the air on that, I'm so excited that you're here. You're going to want to bookmark this podcast because every Monday and Thursday, I think are the days that it's going to be, I'm going to have new episodes released to you for you to always be learning and implementing, whether you are sitting down, taking notes, or driving around listening to this. Today, I want to get started with you about talking about the 3 best things to do in order to create new warm leads. Maybe you started your business 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, and you always had the same type of people in your audience. It's always been Sally and Susie, and they engage and they like your stuff, but they've maybe never bought from you. And then every time you go to launch something, it doesn't necessarily feel like you have a flock of people just waiting, ready to buy. This can be really unmotivating from your creation aspect, from your bank account aspect, and just your overall motivation as a coach in seeing the potential and possibility of what you want to create, which doesn't make anyone feel good. So you're not alone on that. This is where creating new warm leads is going to be crucial to your business. Your priority as a business owner should be 2 things. 1 is nurturing the current clients you have and be getting them full transformation. And then 2 is to always be warming new leads, new people, so that they will be ready to buy from you the next time you launch something. So the first way for you to do this is to get on a new platform. Friend, it is now 2022. If you are only using Instagram as the platform for you to cultivate a community on, it's time to start to expand your horizons. So, how can you do this? Or on what platforms can you do this? Whatever best aligns with where your ideal client is at. And whatever best aligns with the type of content you are already creating. A really common thing that I hear, and I've actually experienced, is that you don't want to necessarily spend all of this time just creating content. You don't have time. Maybe you still work a 9 to 5. Maybe you just don't want to be sitting at your computer all day creating. So it's a question of how can you leverage the content you've already created and cross-pollinate it onto other platforms. So let's say you're on Instagram. Well, what other platforms are like Instagram? Facebook is in the type of content. They have still images, they have long form posts, and you can do the combination thereof. Obviously, they are both a part of the Meta family, so they naturally kind of go hand in hand with each other. However, video is becoming now more of a priority than it's ever been before. So you're on Instagram and you're creating reels and you're taking time to do so because you and I both know it takes a lot more time, energy, and thought than one may think. Okay, so instead of just using reels on Instagram, why don't you take the reel you've already used and put it onto TikTok? This is going to take a minimal amount of work for you to go repurpose it. And at the end of the day, you will be getting in front of an entire new audience. Here's another example. Maybe your coaching has been founded through the blog that you started years ago. However, not everyone just searches blogs anymore. Sure, you want to make sure that your search engine optimization is fully how it's supposed to be. However, that might not be cutting it anymore. So what other platforms can you go on? Can you create pins from your blog and get on Pinterest? The goal here for blogs is to be as searchable as possible. So whether you use Google, you use YouTube, or you use Pinterest, how can you fully captivate the audience with only adding a little bit more work to your plate? So priority for you is to get on just one new platform here in 2022. With that, set a goal, set a plan, and have intention about how you are going to start to cultivate a new community on another platform while still maintaining the one that you currently have on the current social networking site you're on. Number 2, to get more warm leads is going to be to get local. Yes, the online business is great, but there's a huge gap and so much opportunity for you to grab in local businesses. If you are a business coach, if you are a fitness coach, if you are a photographer, how can you go to local small companies, corporations, and pitch your services? If you're a photographer, can you go to restaurants and do food photography for them? If you are a business coach, can you go to a small brick and mortar and give them tips, tricks, resources, strategy? If you are a fitness coach, can you go to a yoga studio? Can you go to a small corporation and provide them services, training, all at a corporate rate? This is thinking outside of the online box. And a lot of this can be really fun, especially if you get sick and tired of sitting at your computer all day. So while that's great in theory, how do we execute this? The first thing to do is to make business cards. Business cards are not extinct, and I want to make an entire another episode about how to create a business card that's not just going to get either lost in someone's wallet or thrown away in the trash can. But having business cards that stand out and show the transformation that you can provide is going to be crucial. The second thing is to create flyers. We are not afraid to promote ourselves. We are not afraid to have our community start to learn about what we're doing and what we are creating, because that's how our business grows. And if we are a little afraid, there's 2 things we need to do. Explore why that is and understand what we need to do to break through it. Typically, there's a limiting belief of caring about what other people think, or what if someone sees my business card somewhere, and what is that going to lead to, even if this isn't like a full-time thing yet. It doesn't matter. That's down the mindset route. So let's stay focused on getting local and saying, well, now where do we put these things? Where do we put the flyers? Where do we put the business cards? This is where we get creative, but the answer is going to be where your ideal client is going. Think of community boards. Are your clients or your ideal clients going to Starbucks? Can you put things on the Starbucks community board as people stand there and wait for their coffee? They read your information and you never know who just says, oh yeah, I actually am looking for a personal trainer. I really do want to get in shape, etc. Can we go to other restaurant businesses like Panera, other places that are having community boards? If you are working with moms specifically, can you go to the library? Where do they take their children that they could maybe be? Could you partner with schools in providing resources that way, getting things in newsletters? If you're spiritual or Christian on any means, or spiritual, religious in any capacity, can you talk to your temple, your church, your synagogue, and getting a blurb in the weekly newsletter or on their website? Sure, some of this might cost, but it's getting yourself incorporated in the community and making yourself known. Again, we're thinking outside the box, but in order to make your business explode and really start getting new warm leads, it's what you can do. So, what is the third aspect? It's going to be using Facebook ads through lead magnets. Now, if you know anything about ads, there has been a huge upset in Facebook ads specifically that Facebook has gotten in a little bit of a twist. Their penny's got a little bit of a bunch as the iOS 14 update, when it came to the iPhone, took away some of Facebook's ability to track their users. As a user aspect, you're like, thank goodness, okay, the Lord is good because now finally your stuff is starting to be protected. But as a business owner, you're like, dang it, I'm not able to use people's information how I once was able to. When you run ads as lead generation campaigns, you forgo all of this. This is because all of the information that they are filling out is happening right there in Facebook. Therefore, Facebook knows and has all of the information that they need on their potential lead customer who they are trying to get to you. But how do you do this? If there's a lead generator ad, the answer is going to be using high converting lead magnets that are free. So what can you create? This might be also known as a freebie or a freemium of what your ideal client deeply desires that you can provide to them in a quick win in order for them to want to learn more about what you have to offer and do. For example, maybe you are a nutrition coach. Can you create a PDF document that talks about 3 easy ways you are wasting extra calories? That's going to be highly clickable. People want to know those things. People want to know if they're making those mistakes. If you are a business coach or a marketing coach, maybe you can create a freebie as to why you need to be using TikTok now more than ever. This might be a checklist that you can provide as to how to create good TikToks. The point is to get creative and understand what your ideal client needs and then serve it to them on a golden platter with no strings attached. At this point, it starts to get into more and more strategy, which I will talk about soon in later episodes. This is when you get their email, you start them on an email list, you connect with them through Instagram and social media platforms, and you start to cultivate a relationship with them, turning them into warmer and warmer leads. To do a quick recap, number 1, get on a new platform. It might be uncomfortable, it might be a little bit more work, but think about the potential of how many new eyes you can get in front of. Number 2, go local and start promoting yourself in your community. Make business cards, make flyers, get to where your ideal client is physically, and start meeting them there. Number 3 is to use ads and use high captivating lead magnets. Whatever freebie this might look like, create it, promote it, and leave no strings attached so people can get a quick win transformation and can then start learning more about the services that you have to offer. I am so glad that you joined me for this episode today. I knew it was going to be filled with tons of little nuggets, and I'm glad that you got everything taken away from it. If you were driving while you're listening to this episode, make sure you go back and jot down just a few of these notes so that you can start creating a plan to implement going into 2022 here, having a good plan leading you to great results. I will catch you in the next episode, and I will catch you on the flip side.